Women's volleyball gets their first conference win.
And women's golf starts strong.
All this and more coming up on the Penguin Rundown.
Welcome into this week's edition of the Penguin Rundown. I'm Andrew Pierce alongside my co-host Caleb Ellison. And Caleb, there weren't that many sports going on last week, but the ones that played really stood out.
You're right. I mean, when it comes to our team sports like soccer and volleyball, they're getting their conference schedule started. And then for golf and tennis, they're getting their season started overall. But speaking of conference play, we will get things started off with our women's volleyball team as they looked for their first conference win last Friday night against the Golden Grizzlies of Oakland University. YSU took the first two sets of the match 25-20 before Oakland took the third set 25-19. In the fourth set of the game, history was made as fifth-year senior Josie Borum reached her 1,000th collegiate career kill, becoming the only active Division I player to reach that milestone. The Penguins took the fourth set 25-21 to win their match and get their first conference win of the 2023 season. It was a quick turnaround for the Penguins as they then traveled to Cleveland State to take on the Vikings. Youngstown State would narrowly lose the first set 25-23, take the second set 25-23, then ultimately lose the next two sets and the match 25-20 and 25-18. Sophomore Abby Householder had an impressive game, setting a career high in kills with 17. The Penguins returned home last night and played against the reigning Horizon League champions, Wright State. For more info on that game, visit ysusports.com. And coming up next this Friday, YSU will welcome the Green Bay Phoenix to the Beagley Center. First serve is set for 6 p.m. And speaking of conference play, we will send it over to the roundtable where Noah and Bryce will have more on the football team.
Hello, welcome to another edition of the Roundtable. I am Noah Ricks alongside my host Bryce Noel. And Bryce, we're going to take a look at the YSU football team as they head into Missouri Valley Football Conference play. We take a look at their non-conference schedule, including a good fight at Ohio State. It was an impressive slate as they finished that slate 2-1.
Absolutely. Speaking of 2-1, they are ranked number 19 in the nation, which is very impressive for this team that only was projected to not even be ranked heading into this season to begin with. And they go ahead into Saturday against a UNI team that has been a very, very tough opponent for many years in the past, and they haven't won at the UNI Dome ever since 1999.
Yep, since 1999, they have not won the last 10 meetings at the UNI Dome. They have not even beaten the Panthers since 2018. So how are they going to do that this Saturday?
Keys to the game, just win the turnover battle on defense and on offense, and they especially have to utilize Tyshawn King, who is currently ranked second in the MVFC in rushing with 294 yards and 5 touchdowns, and definitely get Bryce Oliver the ball. I mean, yes, he's been in double team every single game, including the Ohio State game, but definitely if you can get him into the end zone, that'll be a beautiful touch on the offense.
Now we take a look at the conference schedule from last year. YSU finished 5-3 for their best conference record in 6 years since that national championship run of 2016. But keep in mind, two crucial losses may have done them out in that conference play. They lost 2 games to North Dakota and Missouri State by an average of just 4 points.
Yeah, definitely. Those are going to be very close games as usual, including the one on Saturday. But if you look ahead to further in the conference schedule, you have 10th ranked Southern Illinois, which is a definite surprise to me that they would even be this high in the rankings. And definitely the reigning national champion at number 1, South Dakota State, coming into our building on Veterans Day. So if they want to be a playoff contender and possibly in that national championship discussion, they're going to definitely have to beat those teams, especially the one against the Panthers.
Now the players we're going to keep a close eye on. We also keep an eye on first-team all-conference player Bryce Oliver, the receiver, second-teamer defensive player Dylan Woodgay, as well as star quarterback Mitch Davison. He did play in all 8 conference games last fall, but he is going to go into his first-ever meeting against UNI.
Yeah, definitely. It is his first meeting against UNI, as this is his first full season as a starter after being replaced by Tennessee State, now transfer Demetric Crenshaw back then early in the year last year. But especially a big loss for this offense was Jaleel McLaughlin, who did depart for the National Football League. And his potential successor, freshman Tyshawn King, and he has been definitely very dominant on the ground. He scored a lot of those touchdowns that we've scored against Robert Morris and indeed Valparaiso, and definitely it'll be a good game on Saturday.
And we are going to see that action on Saturday at UNI. The Penguins and the Panthers will kick off at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time from the Unidome on Saturday. But in the meantime, I am Noah Ricks.
And I'm Bryce Noel.
And we'll send it back to our hosts.
After a 3-2 loss to Wright State on September 21st in Dayton, Ohio, the Youngstown State University women's soccer team traveled back home to Farmers National Bank Fieldhouse inside the Cavelli Sports Complex and took on the 7-2-2 IUPUI Jaguars on September 24th. In a gloomy affair, the Penguins' defense was a bright spot as a penalty kick made the difference as the Jaguars bested the team 1-0. Youngstown State looks to bounce back from its 2-game slid as it travels to Purdue Fort Wayne on September 30th.
The Youngstown State men's tennis team turned up impressive results in both singles and doubles competition at the WMU/Red Velt Invitational that took place over the weekend. Against DePaul, Butler, and Western Michigan, the Gwins were victorious in 7 of 8 doubles matches and 8 of 8 singles matches. Both Harry Valsis, a junior, and Ander Balchi, a freshman, won 2 of their singles matches. The Gwins were led in doubles competition by junior Nathan Javier and sophomore Nishant DeBoss, who went a perfect 3-0. The Penguins will be back in action this weekend as they play host to the YSU Invitational at the YSU Indoor Tennis Center. The event will take place spanning Saturday and Sunday.
This past weekend saw the YSU women's golf team compete at home in Boardman at the Roseanne Swartz Invitational. YSU competed as one of 10 teams at the 2-day event at the Mill Creek Golf Course. After round 1 on Saturday, the Penguins sat in 5th place with a score of 308. Round 2 on Sunday saw great performances from YSU, which brought them to 1st place with the final score of 599 at 23 over par. The Penguins beat out 2nd place Cleveland State by 1 stroke as they finished with the 600 final score. For YSU freshman Nina Ruch Parjapanik had the best individual Penguin performance as she finished with the 145 final score at 1 over par. She finished in 3rd overall at the Invitational. Senior Maddie Smithco was the 2nd of 3 Penguins who finished in the top 10 as she tied for 6th place with a score of 150. Rounding out the top 10 YSU finishers was junior Lizzie Sauer, who ended the Invitational tied for 9th place. After round 2, Sauer ended with a score of 151. The YSU women's golf team will hit the links again on Sunday, October 1st in the Chicatoga, New York at Purple Eagles Invitational hosted by Niagara University. For more information on scores, stats and scores, go to ysusports.com. Now we are going to send it over to our very own John Ostapos with this week's Play of the Week.
Thanks, guys. This week's Penguin Player of the Week is none other than senior Brooklyn Kirkpatrick, as she only had 1 save in the game against IUPUI, but it's the defense that matters down the road. And for the Penguins, they showed just that with the nice handwork there by Kirkpatrick, and that is what she has been doing all season long. 52 saves for her, but the goal that really made the difference is this penalty kick here on the right side by Jaguars senior Sam Slimick, and she got that one-on-one opportunity. And for Brooklyn Kirkpatrick, she looks to come back to the Horizon League as she takes on Samantha Castaneda and Purdue Fort Wayne and looks to regain that #1 spot in the Horizon League. Thanks, guys, and Caleb and Andrew, back to you.
Here for the Penguin Rundown today. Thank you for tuning in. To keep up to date on everything YSU athletics related, you can go to ysusports.com. And to keep up with everything at the Penguin Rundown, you can do so on X and Instagram at Penguin Rundown 1. And remember, Penguins, homecoming voting opens up next week. And remember, a vote for Caleb B is a vote for me. I've been Caleb Ellison.
I've been Andrew Peterson.
Stay safe, Penguin Nation.